Hello guys, this is Nagaraj here. Today we are going to start with a small SOA application, and I'll run you through the process of how to create a new SOA application and a project, and then BPL process, and how to deploy it into the EM server. So I am currently in the JDeveloper, and I'm saying file new application. So here I'm going to say select the option as SOA application. So I name the application. Let us name the application as SOA Learning, and it is getting stored into this folder structure. And then there is a project. I'll name this as Hello World, and then I come to the next screen wherein I see as of now I'll select an empty composite. So this is creating a SOA application and a SOA project, and as you'll see in a minute, there will be a few folders that will be created for the SOA project. By default, there is the events folder, schemas folder, test suites, transformations, and visitors, and there is an Hello World composite.xml that you see here. So I'll just open this for you. So this Hello World composite.xml has an export services section, components swim lane, and an external references. So we will add more details onto this in this lecture. So the first thing that I'm going to do is add a schema. So the first, as you see here, I go to schemas folder, I right click and say new from gallery, and I say XML is the option, and select XML schema here. So here I am going to name this schema as hello world.xsd, and I'm going to keep the target namespace as, like, let us change it to soalearning.org, soalearning.org, and that's pretty much. So in this hello world.xsd, basically I'm going to rename this. There is actually as you see, there is a target namespace that we just gave. So there is an example element. So instead of example element, let us name this as input, and I'm going to add one more insert inside schema. I'm going to add one more element which is known as output. So as you see here, there is one input element and one output element, and inside input element I'll add in sequence. Basically I want to add two elements inside this, and this will have an element again which will be input, and then output. In the output, I'll just have one sequence which will have, as of now, let us put it only one element, which is a message. Sorry, I mistyped here. I basically intended to have a first name here and a last name here, and then an output message. So I save this. Now I go back to my hello world.composite, and so I say insert. I choose SOAP option here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this is a service that will be exposed to the outside world. So hello world service, and in the WSDL URL I still don't have WSDL, so I'll use the option generate WSDL from schemas. So here, as you see, I'll keep pretty much everything the same, and I'm going to say this is a synchronous interface, and I'm going to say this is the input part. I'll select the schema from what we just now gave, that is input, and OK, and then select output part and choose output element from our schema. So as you see here, there's the input or element is type is input, schema is this one, and there's output. The element it refers to is the output element in the schema, and it's schema / hello world.xsd. So I'll not do any faults as of now, so I'll say OK, and I'll say OK as well here. So I'm going to save the project. So as you see here, now we have a hello world service. So what I'm going to do is now I'll call a beeple process, and I'll say this is an hello world beeple process, and as of now I'll say no service. So let us go and define it later. So this is pretty simple. Now a beeple process is created, a wisdom service is created. Now I'm going to link this beeple process to this wisdom, and I'll set transaction as not supported. This is a default option. So as you see here, now we have a wisdom, we have a beeple process, and this beeple process is connected to this wisdom. So let us now go deeper into the beeple process. In the beeple process, basically there is an we need an we have not got anything as of now. So let us add the first and receive activity. So I get a receive activity here and a reply activity. So basically we receive the input, do some sort of an data enrichment, and then reply the output. So that is what is the intent of this exercise. So in the receive, I'll just say let us go to the receive activity. In the receive activity there is receive input. This is very important. You have to click on create instance so that the receive activity starts working. So I'm going to say receive, and I'm going to choose the partner link as hello world service, and as you see here, everything gets populated, and I'm going to create a variable which is receive input execute input variable, and this is okay. And now I go back and do the same thing for reply. I'll choose the reply output. I'll rename it as reply output. I have the interaction type as partner link. The partner link is hello world service, and I'll say apply. And sorry, I didn't create a variable, so I'll create a variable, and I'll say okay. So now I go to the assign activity. In the assign activity, what I'm going to do is, like, I'm going to add an into the output, add an expression. So in the expression, I'll say use a concat, insert into expression, and I move my cursor here. I'll say concat insert into expression, slash first name, comma, so I am concatenating with a string known as welcome to the hello world application. So I just say okay. So and as you see here, this first name and the last name is now concatenated, and it is put to the output here. So there is something wrong here, so I noticed it. So let me go and say ns. So I do control enter, so I could see the drop down, and I say last name. So now as you see, both first name and last name are getting concatenated and transferred to the, like, copy to the output message. So apply, okay, and I save this. So the next step is we'll build the application. So let us go and say rebuild. So you see a window here, small window here, which says rebuild hello world JPR in progress. So now I am going to deploy this application to the enterprise manager. So if you see here, I'm deploying this hello world. So it says deploy in hello world, and I deploy to application server. So I have already started my WebLogic admin server and also the managed servers. So I'm going to say mark composite revision as a default and overwrite any existing composite, and I'm going to choose SOA domain here, and next, and finish. So as you see, now the deployment is finished. So I refresh the screen over here on the browser. So as you see here, you see the EM URL of the browser, and the hello world application was just deployed just now. Now I click on this Hello World application, and I click on test. I go to the XML view here and I put my name. Okay, let me put my name. And I now, as you see, I have put the first name is Nagaraj and the last name is Rao, and now I say test web service. So I received a response, a request was successfully received, and as you see, I get an output message as Nagaraj Rao, welcome to the Hello World application. So this, and now let us go and launch the flow trace to see what happened. So as you see here, there is this composite web service which is a Hello World BPL, and when you go to the BPL process, you see there is a receive, there is an assign and an output. If you go to the assign, you see that the variable was updated and the assignment was completed. So that's pretty much with this video. We'll talk in future videos about other functionalities that we can leverage in Oracle SOA and how do we integrate with outside applications as well. So stay tuned and we'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.